we've always seen the divestment program kick off as early as the 10th month of the financial year. This time it started on absolutely the second week itself with that offer for sale of REC shares. And the second thumbs up came from the retail response to REC itself, 5 times oversubscribed, the REC shares itself. So you must say that the government's divestment program has started off very well. But what do we have in store? Is this a swashbuckling start of a Sehwag or a Kohli innings, or is it likely to continue, is what we are asking our next guest. Aradhana Johri, Divestment Secretary, has joined us in. Good morning, ma'am. Thank you very much for joining us. What are your key takeaways from the REC, from the response to the REC offer?
Good morning. I think first of all, I would say that the stocks that we have on offer, including REC, are extremely... Hello?
Go ahead, ma'am. We can hear you.
Okay. Well, first of all, I would like to say that the stocks that we have on offer are all blue chips. They're all excellent deals for people to buy. And REC is no exception. Secondly, I would say that yes, we have a big target this year. And we've started early because we have to give it our best shot. Of course, market conditions are important and we hope the market will pick up. Thirdly, I think REC, like many others we hope will follow, there is a lot of demand. So in this OFS, we got a demand very early and we were fully subscribed at about 10:20. And I think it's like a very good cycle that builds up, because then the retail investors got confidence. And later on, in fact, the price we got was very much above our reserve price. And I think it's very heartening for all of us.
Okay. Ms. Johri, good morning and thank you for joining us. Congratulations on a strong response that REC got. Can you give us an indication of which are the companies that are lined up for this investment in the next 3 to 6 months?
I will not really be able to tell you the companies. You'll appreciate that it's market sensitive information. But I do want to tell you that we have a lot of companies lined up. We are going to fast track our approvals process and yes, wait for the market, because some of them the market doesn't look so good today, some of them the market looks good today. So we'll have a lot of companies lined up.
Actually, on that point, the ONGC divestment was the big expectation, at least in the last 3 to 6 months, and that did not come through because of perhaps the fall that we've seen in crude prices, market conditions, etc. How long will the ONGC and the IOC divestment get delayed? Can we expect something in the next, say, 6 months itself?
I don't think I'll be able to really comment on timing because as you said yourself, ONGC was lined up and it was the market conditions of falling crude that hit the stock. So all I can say at this stage is that we will watch the market and we are in readiness not only for ONGC and IOCL, we are ready for a whole lot of other stocks also, and I think by the end of May we'll have a lot of stocks ready.
Okay. Well, there were news reports that the divestment ministry, and in fact you will have the finance ministry on your side in this, will persuade the labour ministry to ask the EPFO to be more proactive in terms of stock investments. Is this news piece correct? Is our efforts on at all?
Yes, efforts are certainly on, and now that, in fact, pension funds, provident funds, all these funds across the world are investing in equity, but not so in India. And this is a very good beginning. And I would say that the PSU stocks are absolutely ideal for such an investment because they are safe bets, they are blue chip companies, they are government. So we are very hopeful of a good outcome. Yes, we have initiated the process.
And the stance has normally been a little different from the trustees of the EPFO. You think that they will be convinced this time around? And eventually here, one way or the other?
We are hopeful. I think their preference right now is more for the ETF route. So we hope that we will make progress.
In fact, on that note, last year you did launch that CPSE ETF for retail investors comprising of 10 PSUs. I understand from news reports that there is some plan to revamp that entire CPSE ETF scheme. What would this revamp include? Would it be made easier for retail investors? Would you change the constituents of this ETF?
We would not be changing the constituents of the ETF because it's a follow-on offering, so to speak. But yes, we are trying to make it more friendly towards retail investors, and that is why it's taking a bit of time.
So how would you do that?
There are a couple of issues to do with unit size, etc. A couple of technical things which are still in process just now. It's being talked between the asset manager and the government. It's still being discussed.
Okay. Mrs. Johri, the government, the split we understand in divestment was 41,000 crores through PSU divestment and 28,500 through strategic investment. What are the candidates for strategic investment?
Once again, I don't think I'll be able to tell you names. See, the decision for which company to disinvest will not be taken by us. It is taken by the concerned administrative ministry, and I think discussions must be on. They must be taking a look as to which ones to take as candidates, and after that, I think it will be a joint call by various ministries as to various issues like pricing and process, etc.
Okay. But are these strategic investments intended in listed stocks, or would it comprise the entire universe? I mean, unlisted as well.
At this stage, it's a little early to say because it has not really been decided what to do. But definitely, shall I say, there's a focus on SIC units, but it's not limited to SIC units.
Okay. Ma'am, the reason why we're persisting, and I understand your constraints as well, but the reason why we're persisting is because the 69,500 crore target seems to be a very daunting target, especially at a time when certain big issues like ONGC, BHEL are not fructifying. At least can you tell us which are the big issues, the big ticket companies? Of course, the smaller ones will keep happening like REC, but say for example BHEL, can we expect anything to come through on that front, say in the next 3 to 6 months? If you can just give us an indication of how the government manages to rake in such a big amount like almost 70,000 crores. I will not really be able to tell you names of companies. How the government rakes in, I can tell you the broad strategy, which is that in earlier years we would have an annual plan. We'd have a given number of stocks and we would go at it one by one, and the market would go at it one by one also before we actually divested. So we realized late last year that this is really, there are better ways we can do business. So we pulled out a whole lot of other stocks with potential. We fast-tracked the approvals, and we have a whole basket of stocks for approval. It need not mean that all the stocks will be divested this year. Some of them may spill over into next year, depending on market conditions. But on the supply side, our strategy is that we will fast-track everything so that as soon as the market is good for that particular stock, or if the market is already good, we can go ahead. There will be no delays on account of processes or delays on account of stocks not being ready. So that is the game plan we have, and we have a whole lot of stocks, as I mentioned, lined up. But do bear with me. For obvious reasons, I do not want to mention names. So, do you have any fair degree of certainty that the government will be able to meet this target of 69,500 crores?
See, there are, in any market transaction, there are demand and supply forces. On the supply side, yes, I can certainly say that our readiness will be complete, but and we will certainly give it our best shot, but there are market conditions to be looked at. So I think our preparation will not be wanting. We will try our best and hopefully we should achieve it.
There is still headroom in Coal India, right?
Yes.
And that is part of your list, potential list sometime in the year?
As I mentioned to you, the processes we are setting in motion are not just for this fiscal year. And Coal India, in fact, to reach the listing target, they will still need to divest some more. So therefore, it is definitely nothing is ruled out at this stage. But I do think, having done such a big issue right now, I don't think it will be done, say, in the next 6 months or something like that.
So it's actually been one of the better performers, which is why I set my eyes on it. See, if such a big target has to be reached, the government has no choice but to do, say, Coal India, ONGC and the big Sooty, stocks. Those are really the gold mines. Any of these, well, we already discussed Coal India. So, the Sooty stocks, Mrs. Johri?
Can I ask you a question back?
Yeah.
You said it's one of the better performers. What did you mean by that?
No, the stock performance has been excellent. Coal India's performance in the last 2 or 3 months, both in terms of the coal output. For the longest time, Coal India produced only 1 or 2% growth. This year, they have done 7%, Mrs. Johri, and the stock markets have given that stock a thumbs up. In that sense, I thought it would have been. You obviously go to the goose that lays golden eggs.
Oh, you're talking about the performance of the company.
Yes.
But if you analyze what happened the day we did the OFS, the market crashed.
Yeah.
Everybody, I think, pulled out money from everywhere to put it there. So there are issues of market depth, and we have written to the our Department of Economic Affairs that more steps need to be taken to increase the depth of the market, and I think they already seized as a matter and would be taking the requisite steps, because such a large stock, it's certainly the largest in history in India, and my merchant bankers tell me they're not really sure, but they tell me that perhaps there's an issue called American Towers, which is slightly more than this globally. Otherwise, it's really a historic issue. So these issues like this don't come every day, and the market has to be prepared for them.
Fair point. So what exactly is the DEA preparing? I agree. Big stocks will, and all the stocks that I mentioned, the ONGC to some extent, and the stocks in the Sooty could all be faced with this problem. So at least one stock could be. So what is the DEA's recommendation?
See, I'll just give you a couple of figures. Like Coal India, we got more than 1,800 crores of retail participation. Yet that was not enough, because the government is committed to retail investment being increased, spreading wealth of the PSUs amongst the people, and there was a 20% reserve that we had kept for ourselves. It was short of that. So just to make the point, there is need for much more depth. One of the things that comes to mind right away is because these are single-day transactions. So people have to be ready. And if they are not ready, you need to have a demat account, you need to have an active demat account, you need to be studying the companies. So one of the things that I am going to recommend to the various ministries also, that please don't go on road shows only when a divestment is around the corner. You know, they need to be getting across periodically. A time when the quarterly results come in is a good time to talk to investors, so that they are better prepared, you know.
Okay.
That's one of the things that could be done. More demat accounts, more active demat accounts. These are some things that come to mind right away.
Okay. That's an interesting point. You know, just coming back to retail participation, just a while back you were telling us in this CPSE ETF, talks are on to tweak some of the norms, especially with respect to unit size, etc. Currently, I think individual investors can invest a minimum of 5,000 and a maximum limit of 10 lakhs. Will that minimum limit be brought down to invite more retail participation?
There is talk of reducing some minimum limits, certainly so, but the final product is being worked out right now. And it will need SEBI approval as well before we actually launch it.
Okay, Mrs. Johri, once again, the Sooty stocks. It's laughable why the government should be owning tobacco company shares. Should we hear of something this year in terms of the government lightening the holding in L&T or in ITC?
I do want to tell you that Sooty is not handled by the Department of Disinvestment, but by the Department of Economic Affairs, and I'm sure they must be seized of the matter, because it is mentioned in the budget.
Okay. Then, just one small technical question on this CPSE ETF itself. You did say that you're going to take it to SEBI for approval. By when do you expect the approval to come through? And through this route, how much do you think you can actually raise?
In the past, SEBI approvals have come in pretty quickly, and I think SEBI has also increased its speed considerably. I do not think there will ultimately be anything that will be objectionable, so I don't visualize it taking a long time. The amount that we are looking at is somewhere between 4,000 to 5,000 crores, but it would depend once again on the market at that point of time.
All right, Mrs. Johri, thank you very much for joining us and sharing your perspective and the government's perspective on this entire issue.